Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avataravarishthaya Ramakrishnaya te Namah. November 26th, 1883. It was the day of annual festival of the Sindurapatti Brahmo Samaj. Sinduriyapatti Brahmo Samaj. The ceremony was to be performed in Manilal Malik's house. The worship hall was beautifully decorated with flowers, wreaths, and evergreens, and many devotees were assembled, eagerly waiting the worship. Their enthusiasm had been greatly heightened by the news that Sri Ramakrishna was going to grace the occasion with his presence. Keshab, Vijay, Shivanath, and other leaders of the Brahmo Samaj held him in high respect. His God-intoxicated state of mind, his intense love of spiritual life, his burning faith, his intimate communion with God, and his respect for women, whom he regarded as veritable manifestations of Divine Mother, together with the unsullied purity of his character, his complete renunciation of the worldly talk, his love and respect for the religious faiths, his eagerness to meet the devotees of all creeds, attracted the members of the Brahmo Samaj to him. Devotees came that day from far-off places to join the festival, for it would give them a chance to get a glimpse of the Master and listen to his inspiring talk. Here, M. the author, the first-hand recorder of this one. See, but for his presentation, we would not have known what happened, how the festival was there. When we read Tulsi Ramayana, we see beautiful men, how he describes the various, suppose the palace of some king, Sita Swayamvara or anything, how he describes every bit, how the jewels were hanging on the sides, how the trees were decorated, plants were decorated, the streets were decorated, how the horses and all things were as if with all that royal glory, how it was shining. This one transports us to the place and description of Sri Ramakrishna. The whole thing like a scanning. All this, that glory, and why people rushed in those days. In thousands they would flow. And what for? What was the greatness? So many people are there, so many orators are there who speak on so many things. Different religious people are there who give extensive discourses. But why this? illiterate person. To him they clinged. It is ocean of wisdom, ocean of ecstatic love of God, intense desire for the upliftment of the human race. This longing everywhere you see him, longing for welfare, longing for prosperity, a longing for transcendence of nature. All limitations, break all limitation, emerge out. So here we see a beautiful description being given. It was annual festival. The ceremony was to be performed in Mani Malik's house, one of the devotees. These are all, though they are sufficiently rich to conduct these things, the wealth and money, how we are going to use. A few days back, there was Singapore class was going on. Singapore devotees, and one of the questions was how people are spending for marriages and these things. If you gather and lakhs of rupees is spent on nothing, the whole food material, varieties of food material, this, that, everything goes to the dustbin later. Fine, beautiful things a little, and how much they can save in lakhs and crores. How many people would have benefited? That question was there. Is it according to scripture? Is it according to human? Because I have spending. Because I don't have wisdom how to spend it, I am spending. A momentary name and glory. Next day nobody remembers. Should we spend on that way? All these the questions come up. So we see that these things, how much we can do, how much we have to this question comes up, and we see this we have to slowly build up. This wealth is there, use it for. Someone asked Sri Ramakrishna, can we earn more money? Sri Ramakrishna says, yes. As much money you want, you can earn, there is no harm. But remember, it must go for good cause. The earning is not important. Service of God in man, service in whatever way you can do to lift up the social structure condition. The ceremony was to be performed in Mani Malik's house. The worship hall was beautifully decorated with flowers, wreaths, and evergreens, and many devotees were assembled, eagerly waiting the worship. Their enthusiasm had been greatly heightened by the news of Sri Ramakrishna's going there. All this beauty of the whole thing, and imagine in between the Sri Ramakrishna's coming there. Most important is the one way is to entertain our eyes, the senses, with divine glory, and to raise our spiritual consciousness to the highest level. Now, the when we see a beautiful scenery or anything, even a flower in the garden, if you see, it has its beauty. And I love this. And beauty we see, it is nice, it is beautiful. I enjoy that. But it is gross physical level. And next we have the other thing. It is made to associate with divine. God is brought into picture. Now, how that takes place, you see. Now I am enjoying in the world background the beauty. I am enjoying the same beauty in the divine background. When in a temple or a function like this is that it transcends the physical limitations. It is taking me. Now my mind is tuned to divine. My mind is tuned to the nature. Suppose a spiritual personality is there who can lift our consciousness, awareness to the divine, how it would be. From physical to the almost we can say religious or something like that, and to pure spiritual heights. The all combination, the man forgets his bodily existence, forgets the world, forgets everything and lost in the eternal. The touch of eternal comes to us when we see the transcendental aspect. So Sri Ramakrishna is coming there. He is taking us to those heights where I am made to forget everything. And look at this. What is this Ramakrishna is explaining? Why this Ramakrishna? The great leaders of Brahmo Samaj held him in high respect. He is God intoxicated state of mind. Mind is so turbulent and he is constantly under the sway of vasanas. And vasanas, you know, all are worldly vasanas. Sri Ramakrishna used to use the term Kamini Kanchana. The physical enjoyments, gratification of senses and possessions. From that background, it has to raise to mind, intoxicated state of mind, intoxicated with divine. Means how much of purity, how much of wisdom must be there to attain that state. His intense love for spiritual life, worldly life, religious life, spiritual life. Religious life expands my consciousness from worldly life to certain extent, but it limits again. My religion, my community, it is all religions are not like the Hinduism, which is accommodates everything within itself and has provision for all aspects of God and all paths in itself. Otherwise, it is limited. Even within the Hinduism, Shakta, Shaiva, Vaishnava, so many denominations approaching the same thing. There is no conflict, but there is something like division. But when it comes to spirituality, all differences dissolve. Spirituality is another field, entirely the ultimate, and loving that spiritual life, spirit and matter. that love for intense love for spiritual life, his burning faith, God, the trust and faith in God, in divinity of man, how he gives, you see, the burning faith, his intimate communion with God, intimate. We begin with the Parichaya, introduction of God. From Parichaya, we shift slowly to Sambandha, relationship. From Sambandha, we grow to intimacy. Intimacy, when it becomes God and all His glory, everything is gone away. He is my intimate friend and seeker. Like friends we move. With all freedom we move. Intimate. His respect for women. The respect for women is most important feature. Even the institution of marriage, just the institution of marriage, how much elevated the human could be to live a restrained life dedicated to the welfare of the society. The married life means it's a great sacrifice for the welfare of society. He takes up so many responsibilities, family responsibility, the social responsibility, the national responsibility, coming together, integration, the humanity, nature, all are brought into picture in a married life. So that now from this one, to worship a woman as Divine Mother. Imagine how we are climbing from animalhood to divinehood, how we evolve, and acme of seeing whom he regarded as veritable manifestation of Divine Mother. The power which has created this universe, the power which is pervading the universe and governing it, maintaining the law and order. Everything is going on in a perfect pace, in a perfect way, absolute perfection everywhere. So this we see Divine Mother, together with the unsullied purity of his character. Everything we can tell, imagine, theory we can understand, but when it comes to the practical life, I lived that life. The living that life, spiritual, is a different thing altogether. Together with unsullied purity of character, his complete renunciation of worldly talk gone forever from his life. How he used to weep standing on the top of a building. Where are you, my children? Hearing the people talk about the world constantly. Not even a word comes out of divine. My ears are paining. Come, my children, come, my children. Then Narendra and others one by one started coming. So that no hatred, no dislike, but avoid. Because people are of different status, different grade of evolution. Some are at lowest rung of animalhood. Some are climbing. It's like a school. I can't give them anything now, but these are ready. Let me devote through them. It is transmitted to the other further generations. So renunciation of worldly talk is love and respect for all religious faiths. Jotomot, Totopat. As many opinions, as many paths, as many understanding of God, so many paths to reach Him. So as many faiths, so many paths, religious faiths, and most of the, if you keep rice for cooking, whether the rice is cooked or not, how do we see? We are not going to squeeze every grain throughout. A few grains here and there, pick up, and you know the whole pot is cooked. Sri Ramakrishna picks up the topmost few religions, enters as the insider, not as outsider, follows them, and comes to the same conclusion: God is one. We see in different ways, we approach Him in different ways, and we reach Him in different ways. So one exists, and this total acceptance, love and respect for all religious faiths, and His eagerness to meet devotees of all creeds. So many paths to go to God. When each one comes, sitting with Him, conversing with Him, taking something, giving something, attracted the members of the Brahmo Samaj they too want to bring about transformation in the Hinduism. But they forget the basic truth of Hinduism, realization of God. They want to bring up social transformation and silence the people who have comments to do on. No. Hold on to truth. People will go on telling something. Because people are telling idolaters, remove all idols. Have you seen the truth? God speaking through an image, projecting through an image. How He receives the worship through an image. Nobody has tested, nobody has tried. And they want to bring about a transformation, removing the idol worship from the Hinduism. Now you see the slowly how much of transformation. Sri Ramakrishna begins his spiritual life with the worship, idol worship, goes on pestering that idol. Mother, are you here? Are you here in this? Is it true? Goes on asking, goes on questioning and pleading, reveal yourself. Ramprasad says he saw you and you revealed to him. Kamalakanta says so much. So many saints have seen you and so many saints have promised that calling on you with love and devotion. She reveals herself. And where are you? Where are you? How the image becomes lively. How Mother manifests through it. Whatever worship he offers, how she sits like a child and accepts it. So then these are the things we are eager to change the social structure and calamities take place. So the devotees came, attracted the members of Brahmo Samaj because that is the purpose for which they have joined together. Devotees came that day, far off places to join the festival, for it would give them in those days no vehicles. You have to travel by carriages, horse carriages. Join the festival, for it would give them a chance to get the glimpse of the Master. Important thing. God has come down in human form. And what would be the impact when a devotee of God goes and looks at Him, falls at His feet and receives His grace? Glimpse of the Master. So many people have heard. We have heard of ecstasy. We have heard of samadhi. But where have we seen in our lives? But here is a person who demonstrated before the world. See, this is the thing called samadhi. And you too can attain this. It is not exclusively that incarnation alone, this one. You too can. The Master, listen to his inspiring talk. People, for it would give them a chance to get a glimpse of the Master and listen to his inspiring talks. The whole thing is, on the one side is the traditional worship going on of the Divine Mother. All have gathered in different aspects. Now they are worshipping in the form of Nirguna Nirakara. Doesn't matter. The same Mother is receiving, whom he loved, whom he realized. Oh, he used to say, my mother is everything. She is Brahman. She is the all beings. She is the nature. She is the Lord of the universe. Everything. So the worship is going on in a tradition, their own traditional form. Another side is the manifestation of that reality. How the things you see. One side is reality manifested, another side is the aspect given. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.